Hello Zimbabwe, my name is Watsap, and today I am coming to you from Banket in Mashonaland West. We are here at a grain marketing board depot whereby our farmers are bringing in their grain for sale, given that the commencement of the grain marketing season started on around May this year. To discuss this and more in this episode of Grain Marketing Season, I am going to be joined by the Chief Executive Officer of the Grain Marketing Board, Mr. Mutenha. He has taken his time away from the offices in Harare, the head office, and has drove all the way with us to come here in Banket so that we can have a dipstick approach at the grassroots level, and we are going to be interacting and seeing farmers who are bringing in their grain and are being paid at this depot. Stay tuned. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions Agribusiness in support of Vision 2030. As I have highlighted earlier, today we are in Mashonaland West, Banket Grain Marketing Board Depot. And Mr. Mutenha here, the Chief Executive Officer, has taken his time away from the head office to come here to the grassroots level, where we are going to be interacting with various farmers and looking at the activities taking place at this depot. Mr. Mutenha, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm okay.
Thank you.
As we get into our discussion, Mr. Mutenha, I'd like us to talk about the activities at the moment. What is happening at the various depots across the geographical locations of our country?
Thank you. We are in the month of September.
Yes.
And obviously farmers are busy delivering their summer crops. And these include maize, traditional grains, and oilseed crops like soybeans, sunflower, and also groundnuts.
Okay.
We are also receiving Fumvudza inputs and distributing them to the farmers.
Okay.
And very soon, very soon, we are going to be receiving wheat because the early planted crops are now ready for harvest.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a state-owned enterprise, and there are calls from our government to support and enhance its efforts towards achieving Vision 2030, where we are talking of becoming an upper middle class economy by the year 2030. Can you maybe highlight your mandate as a state-owned enterprise?
The Grain Marketing Board is no longer just watching things from the terraces.
Yes.
We are actively participating in the whole agricultural value chain, starting with the inputs distribution and ensuring that there is orderly marketing of crops and ensuring that there's food security at every household. Those three wraps up our mandate.
That is very commendable and great indeed. You would find that if you look at SDG number 1 and 2 on the United Nations Agenda Vision 2030, it talks of alleviation of poverty and eradication of hunger, yes, which you talked of briefly when you say that you are looking to maintain food security at household level.
Yes.
As we move further into our discussion, Mr. Mutenha, can you maybe highlight in terms of statistics at the moment, if you are privy to the information?
Yes. I must mention that this season was a very queer season. This time in September, we should have been tapping off receiving summer crops.
Okay.
But we are almost now getting to the peak of receiving summer crops. If I can tell you, right now we are receiving between 2,500 to 3,000 metric tons of maize per day.
Okay.
In September. This is funny.
Very indeed.
Yes. So we are almost at the peak of our season. But if I can tell you, we have so far received close to 200,000 metric tons of grain, right? 82% of that being maize.
Okay.
15% of that being traditional grains, and the balance, of course, shared amongst the various oilseed crops.
Okay.
Yes.
Looking at the trends and the activities, would you say you are happy? What are your sentiments looking at what is happening in the grain marketing season as we are progressing. You highlighted on the queerness of the season, given that we are at our peak and yet we are in September. We are headed towards going back to the fields, but we are now at the peak of deliveries.
Yeah, the season was not pleasing at all. It was a late season, and what we expected as a country is not what we are going to get. That's actually true. But that be as it may, we want to assure the nation that we've got enough grain in our strategic grain reserve to see us to the next harvest.
Okay.
Yes. We are receiving maize from farmers, but we are also seeing some side marketing taking place.
Okay.
Unscrupulous millers, maybe during the night or even during the day, enticing farmers to sell grain to them.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Mutenha, you highlighted on a very pertinent issue that is cancerous in our industry, either in tobacco or in grain marketing, of side marketing.
Yes.
What is your position as a state-owned enterprise? What are the penalties that are present for those rent seekers makoronyera? What is your position and your sentiments in regards to that?
We've got what we call controlled products.
Okay.
Like maize, wheat, and soybeans. Those crops are governed by statutory instruments which are derived from the GMB Act.
Okay.
Those must, by law, be delivered to the Grain Marketing Board. The only exemption is where there has been some financial arrangement with a contractor.
Okay.
And then that farmer is then obliged to deliver to the contractor who is registered with the Agricultural Marketing Authority.
Okay.
He is a bona fide contractor, not a fly-by-night who just appears one day and say, I'm a contractor at the tail end of the season. No. A contractor registers in September,
okay,
and carries through his farmer up to harvesting and marketing. That's a bona fide contractor. Anyone who does not fall in that category, all grain is supposed to come to the Grain Marketing Board.
Okay.
Admittedly, when we have a poor season like this, farmers tend to side market to run away from paying their loans from financiers, and also evade the effects of the statutory instrument. Like in our case, maize is controlled by SI 145, which says all grain must be delivered to the Grain Marketing Board.
Okay.
So we are working with the law enforcement agents. So in the event that we catch up with such unscrupulous buyers, the law, of course, will take its course. Yes. And I want to warn millers. There are some millers whom we know are going out there straight to the farmers. If we catch up with them, what it means is that in future, they will not be able to buy grain from GMB because they've already found their own future supplier of grain. So we will not sell grain to them. So I'm sure any reasonable miller would not want to jeopardize a future relationship because of the short-lived relationship of a few tons of maize, which they buy from the farmers.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mutenha. That was very detailed. There you heard it, viewers. I am with the Chief Executive Officer of the Grain Marketing Board, Mr. Mutenha, here in the first segment, who was emphasizing on the ills and the penalties that are associated with engaging in side marketing, be it on the farmer side, the millers, or other contractors who claim to just appear from nowhere in the middle of the season. We're going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the second segment. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
Welcome back, viewers. We are here in the second segment of your program, Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, in support of Vision 2030. And today we are looking at the grain marketing season and the various activities that are taking place. We are here in Mashonaland West at Banket Depot, where we are looking at how farmers are getting paid and how the delivery systems are working. Now, viewers, we encourage you to be a part of these conversations. Feel free to get in touch with the producer, Watsap Manyore, on 0772 807 506. Alternatively, you can like our Facebook page, Agribusiness with Watsap. We are also available on Twitter, and our Twitter handle there is at Agribusiness110. Make a follow-up on this episode and more on our YouTube channel, Agribusiness with Watsap. We are now in the second segment, Mr. Mutenha. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
I would like us to highlight this segment beginning from controls. You would find that our farmers and the various people in our country might not have an understanding of why these controls exist. Why the controls?
Right. We are not controlling all crops. The controlled products are maize, soybeans, which very soon I'm sure it will be taken out because of the commodity exchange.
Okay.
And wheat. But however, I want to emphasize that maize is a staple food.
Very true.
Soybeans contributes to the cooking oil and stock feed. Wheat, that's our breakfast. We can't do without breakfast.
Very true.
Right. These are controlled because they contribute to the national food basket. That's why they are controlled.
Okay.
Yes.
I would also want us to talk about the various payment platforms and maybe the payment processes that are taking place so that our farmers are encouraged, and maybe those that want to get into farming as we are headed towards going to the field might feel encouraged to participate in grain production.
Right. GMB has introduced what we call an offline payment system.
Okay.
We are paying from collection points and buying points out there in the rural areas, where we are saying farmers, you can aggregate your crop at a common place. When they bring their crop there, we go with our gadget.
Okay.
We capture the farmer details. Straight away, as we are capturing, we are sending the information to our server using the network. Straight to the server at head office, and the farmer is paid immediately into his bank account. Before the maize is lifted to the depot, the farmer has already gotten his money. That's the offline payment system, which we have introduced at a collection point. That's the offline payment system. And we are so proud about that. Then we also introduced a farmer card, which operates just like any other bank card. It's a wallet. We put money into that wallet. It's unlimited money which we put into that wallet. You can use that card to pay your school fees, to pay your groceries through Swipe. That's the second platform, right? Then, of course, we use the farmer's bank card. If he opts to use his bank card, we will put his money into his bank card. A bank of his choice.
Okay.
Right? So we are trying by all means to ensure that the farmer gets his money real time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mutenha. That was very detailed. I would like us to talk about transportation systems put in place and maybe the various collection points that are also in place. How is it working?
Throughout the whole country right now, we've established 200 collection points. And on a need basis, we can open more. Because what drives us to open a collection point is the volume and the distance to the market, right? So if farmers aggregate their maize at a collection point, Mostly it's 5 kilometers from his homestead, 7 kilometers from his homestead, which he can use as coach cart. Then GMB organizes transport from the collection point to the depot. That is GMB's cost. It's not the farmer's cost.
Okay.
We also have what we call mobile buying points, where we can go to a ward or to a village and say, farmers, bring your maize at a certain place, at a school or at a shop on a Tuesday.
Okay.
Then they bring their maize, we bring in a lorry. Immediately, they load the maize into the lorry. And then we take that maize to a GMB depot. We are doing it for free to the farmers. So we are offering free transport to smallholder farmers. All right?
Yes.
To the large-scale farmers, A2 farmers, those who are commercially producing crops, we can organize transport that can come and pick produce farm gate,
Okay.
but on a stop order facility, which is paid in local currency. Yes, not in US dollars, but in local currency. We'll arrange with the transporter. He picks the grain or bags to a GMB depot, registers a stop order. As we are paying the farmer, we pay the transporter first, and then the farmer later.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mutenha. There you heard it, viewers. You would find that most of our small-scale farmers here in Zimbabwe used to cry, vaichema-chema tiri kusiwa when it comes to kurerutsirwa kwekudeliver chibage chedu and our grains. But here we have Mr. Mutenha highlighting that you are getting your produce to the nearest depot free of charge. It is collected from a buying point or a collection point. When it comes to the A2 farmers, you can still have that facility, and it's a stop order facility, whereby a commercial farmer will always pay maybe their debt or their loan or that arrangement using our local currency, meaning that you are saving. We are going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the third and final segment. Stay tuned. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, in support of Vision 2030. We are here in the final segment of your episode. We are today in Banket, where we are talking to Mr. Mutenha here, the Chief Executive Officer of the Grain Marketing Board. He is highlighting several issues when it comes to grain marketing here in Zimbabwe. Mutenha, we are in the third and final segment. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
I would like us to talk about the geographical location or how our depots are distributed across Zimbabwe.
I want to advise the listeners that GMB is found in every district in the country. Generally, we've got 87 depots.
Okay.
Some of them are silo depots like this one, where we handle bulk crops,
Yes.
which are not in bags. But tikaenda kumaruzevha ukuka vanhu havakwanisi kuisa zvinhu in bulk, tinovapa masaga, ndosaka tichivaisira anonzi mabag depots. Iwo ama muchitaura ane matanda, ane matende anonzi matapolini, mamwe blue, mamwe green, mamwe munaona ari yellow, and so on. Idepot rakangofanana nerino, rinongogamuchira mbeu dzakafanana. But throughout the whole country, I am silo depots, we've got 12 of them, and mostly located in commercial areas. So in terms of presence in the country, we are all over.
You're everywhere in
We
Zimbabwe.
are everywhere in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Mutenha, speaking of input distribution, which you highlighted as one of the activities that take place at our depots here, I would like us to talk about the Pfumvudzas, the Zunderamambo. Can you maybe get into that so that our audience doesn't feel left out? I'm wanting this with my commercial farmers who is suito say.
Right. Zunde ramambo ndere madzishe vana mambo. Makare kare kwainziko mambo ane dura rake rokuitira mhuri yake kana yaane nzara ndo mavanotora imomo vachipa mhuri dzavo dzinenge dzaane nzara. Saka mambo anopiwawo ma-inputs ezunde ramambo, 25 kgs the seed, then 250 kgs the basal fertilizer and 250 kgs the top dressing. Ndimambo. Then koita headman, mutevedzeri wamambo, anopiwawo 20 kgs the seed, 200 kgs the basal fertilizer and 200 kgs the top dressing. Hatikanganweka vanogara nevanhu. Ndiye village head Sabhuku. Sabhuku anopiwawo 10 kgs dzake dzembeu yechibage, dzembeu yandiri kutaura ndeyechibage. Right. Ne2 kgs ne2 bags dzake dzefertilizer yepasi ne2 kg ne2 bags dzake dzefertilizer yepamusoro. Kozoitawo mabeneficiaries, mafarmers agere mumisha umu. Imba yose inopfumbuka utsi ndiyo inonzi household inoqualifya kupiwa mbeu nemafertilizer epfumvudza, zvichienderana nokuti uri kupi. Nzvimbo dzinonayisa mvura sekuno unonge uchipiwawo 10 kg yako yechibage nesaga rako. In fact unopiwa 5 plots, right, dzechibage. Saka unopiwa mbeu yako nemafertilizer epasi nefertilizer epamusoro. Vari kunzvimbowo dzisinganyanye kunaya mvura zvakanyanya, tinokurudzira kurimwawo kwema-traditional grains, mapfunde, munga, zviyo. Unozopiwawo kambeu kako kaduku kechibage kuti uwane chokugocha. Asi uko tenge chiti rimaichi ma-traditional grains. Kuno kunorimwawo kune mvura yakanaka and so on, tochirimawo zvakawandisa zvechibage, ma-traditional grains achiitawo mashoma.
I just want you to highlight and emphasize more on issues thema inputs. You spoke of a sensitive issue when it comes to input distribution.
Yes.
You would find kuti vamwe vari kupiwa sezvamataura izvi vanobva vanopinda ongoti achingopota pasi raakutotengesa. Can you talk to our farming community vari kufara kuona kuti tine mukuru wedura renyika pachirongwa? Can you talk to them about kutengeswa kwema-inputs, value yavari kuluza, because there is potential, latent ability in our fertilizers. Can you talk to our farmers when it comes to
Very
that?
good. In the first place, ma-inputs hatisi kungoti angoya anongopiwawo. Tine committee inohutungamiri hunotobva nokuna mudzviti pasapa paward level huchitungamirirwa nakansela, moita agritex, moitawo GMB, moita headmaster wo pachikoro chiri panzvimbo iye iri kupirwa ma-inputs, ndiye munyori nemuyouth. Handiti mambotaura nezvewomen empowerment. Yes, havasiwo vanenge varimo mukomiti iyoyo. Right. GMB iri kureceive ma-inputs. Kubuda kwayo ma-inputs achienda kuward committee ndiyo iri responsible. Kusarudzwa kwevanhu, ma-beneficiaries vanofana kupiwa, local leadership, agritex nakansela. Vanotaura kuti uyu anoqualifya, uyu anoqualifya, uyu. Konyorwa list nezvinhu zviri kufana kubuda. Zvazobva paGMB zvaenda uku kuwadi kuri kunonopiwa vanhu. Handitika? Munhu anodaidzwa achiuya achisainira zita rake, komiti iripo, asipo haapiwe, nokuti ndo zvinozoshaika izvozvozvo. Ngazvipiwa aripo. Right. Basa reGMB now is to keep records and to ensure kuti ma-inputs iwaya ashandiswa zvaanofanira kushandiswa nokuateera, because at the end of the day zvapirwa ma-inputs zvinofanira kuchowanikwa mudura.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mutenha. I would like us to talk about maybe the prices of the various commodities. Our farmers will be very much interested.
At the moment, chibage, 100,000 Zimbabwean dollars plus 90 United States dollars per ton. Vaichemati hatusi kupuwa foreign currency iyo gai. Ma traditional grains, munga, mapfunde zviyo, price ndo imwe chete, 100,000 Zim dollars plus 90 US dollars. Ma sunflowers, 274,000 Zimbabwean dollars plus 90 US dollars. Ndo mutengo yatiri kuti ukangodelivera nhasi kusati kwatombopera mazuva akati kuti mari iyoyo yamuchikwama chako. Ndosaka mafama takati vhurai inonzi no straw, tiise foreign currency $90 dollars. Iyo imwe account iyo kana farmer card re-GMB iro tochiisa machi ma100,000 aya patani.
Thank you so much.
And mungada kuzivawo mapayments kuti ari kufamba sei. Yes. Ndamhanyira ipapo nondiri kubhadhara varimi. Right. Zvese zvauya kwatiri, mbeu dzose dzauya dziri around 11 billion. And so far, isu as GMB, we have paid 10 billion, which means kwasara 1.2 billion. Yandakavimbiswa neve finance kuti before Friday, skwera mangwana, vanenge vandipa mari iyoyo, tobhadhara varimi, handisina chikwereti navo. Kumayusa uku, tangosarirwa ne 4 million. Imwe yose takabhadhara 10 million. By Friday, tinenge tatopiwa mari yavo, tobva tatongoisa mumachi manostro accounts avo. Saka varimi ngavarege kufunga kuti paye patikanga tamboti early delivery incentive iri kupera kwa July, takastretcha isu. Uisai mbeu dzenyu, tinokupai local currency neforex yayo kusvikira matoneta nokuisa. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mutenha. That was very detailed, and I would like to emphasize on the fact that Mr. Mutenha here is telling us that ukama uri pakati pevarimi nedura renyika wagadzirika wakanaka kune vanenge vachichema nekuda mari dzekunze waakudziwa nawo. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
Thank you.
There you heard it, viewers. We're looking at the grain marketing season, the 2022 grain marketing season here in Zimbabwe, where our farmers are being rewarded and are being paid for their grains that they are delivering for the food security sufficiency of our country. Now, farmers, if you look at it, it is not just merely being good at producing your product. Yes, it is very important, but at the end of the day, your labor, your hard work and your inputs should translate to money. You should be able to make money out of your agricultural ventures, which was the case scenario here, where we are looking at how farmers are being paid and are being awarded for their toil. From me, your host was Zanai Manyore. I'm also on Instagram. It's W Manyore, and the crew behind the scenes. Have yourselves a fabulous evening. Thank you for watching.